tell us your mentality, man, about playing offensive tackle. I mean, you have the potential, just to be absolutely elite.
Damn, go ahead and share your thoughts on the thesis.
Yeah, baby. That's what we do. We are the Buckeyes. What up, Buckeye Nation? What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk college football with real fans. I'm Devin. Excited to be here tonight. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat already, chatting it up. Roll Tide, Steely, Stars, Liz, Greggs. Appreciate y'all for being in the chat tonight. Do me a favor real quick. Before we get started, please don't forget to do this. It's simple, it's easy, it's free, and it goes a long way for the channel, and that is hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as well. I'm a little bit different. I'm streaming on 2 channels, so if you're watching on Scoop, if you want to take a quick second, jump over to the Buckeye Boys side of things and give me a like over there. That would be greatly appreciated. Super chats are open as well. All our super chats go towards helping veterans. In a quick, more in-depth explanation of this, because I stream on 2 channels, I do want to explain that on the Buckeye Boys side of things, 50% of our super chats used to go towards homeless vets, and the other 50% went towards Teen Challenge, which is a nonprofit organization, faith-based, that helps people that struggle with mainly drug addiction. It's a program that I went through myself, introduced me to Jesus, radically saved my life. There's some changes moving forward to that, in that 100% of the proceeds from super chats will go towards that ministry. It gets complicated splitting it up. Scoop, all their super chats go towards helping veterans out every single day. So that's an update. Matter of fact, the Buckeye Boys channel, you guys in the chat that have been super chatting on the Buckeye Boys side of things, we just sent our first donation to the Teen Challenge Ministry. It's going to go towards helping one of the students go on an upcoming missions trip. I will have Austin, my buddy, the director of the program, come on next week and tell you guys where your money went, what it went into, maybe have a couple pictures up for you guys as well. So $250 went towards them. It's going to go towards the missions trip. It's going to make a young man's, it's going to change his life, quite literally. Mission trips are very powerful. So shout out to you guys and everybody else that supports the channel every single day. If you haven't downloaded the Spreaker app and gave a like to Buckeye Scoop on that, please do that if you can. Apple Podcasts, same thing. Shoot us a like on that and head on over to the Scoop message board and see what's popping off over there. We're going to dive into, it's going to be a shorter show tonight. Going to dive into a little bit of the recruiting side of things, this 2027 class, the streak that the Buckeyes are on with wide receivers right now, as well as other position groups. Going to give kind of the latest updates we can give. There's so many updates to go into, but I'll just kind of keep it short and sweet and give like the latest ones here. Also talk about the portal edition that the Buckeyes made. Yeah, it's kind of weird. You kind of forget about the portal. I'm not saying this was a gigantic move made by the Buckeyes, but it does kind of show you where they're leaning towards, the areas of the team that they're wanting to put more time and effort into, and what Ryan Day and Mark Pantoni and all the rest of the staff are doing with this roster. I absolutely love it. Let's dive into the wide receivers, right? We know Brian Hartline just left. An elite recruiter, had this wide receiver position popping off. After Carnell Tate goes in the first round this year, it'll be 5 wide receivers in the first round in the past 4 years. Absolutely insane on the recruiting front. Oh, and that will continue with JJ. So we'll see how that ends in the NFL draft. But when you look at the recruiting side of things as well, you got JJ Smith, number 1 wide receiver, boom. You got Chris Henry Jr., number 1 wide receiver, boom. And when you're having this conversation, obviously you got several different recruiting industry. You got the ESPN, you got 247, and you got the Rivals On 3, ranking as well. But the Rivals industry ranking had Chris Henry Jr. as the number one wide receiver. Lost Brian Hartline. We all know the details of that recruitment. And the Buckeyes still ended up landing the number one wide receiver for the second class in a row. Coming into this year, we have Jameer Brown committed in this class. Was the early number one wide receiver in the class. It's hard to not consider him the number one wide receiver anymore, given his elite talent, 6 foot tall, 199 pounds. And I want to give a shout out, man. Berm over there on the Austin and Berm show. He does really good interviews with a lot of these recruits. He's one of the one of the top notch beat reporters that covers the recruiting side of things. Did an interview with Jameer Brown today. Go check that out. Gave an update there. With Brian Hartline leaving, that recruitment kind of a lot of people questioning, are we going to be able to keep him in the fold? You go listen to that interview. It sounds like he's pretty locked in. Carlos Hankton already building a strong relationship with him. Ryan Day was one of the first people he called was Jameer Brown and had a long conversation with him. So Ryan Day is making that recruitment very important. The Buckeyes look at him the same level they look at a DJ Jacobs. We've talked about how the Buckeyes organize their recruiting classes and how much money you're going to pay him and how hard you're going to go after him. You got those first-round draft picks. Jameer Brown is in that. So we land him. I don't know if you want to consider it, right? 3 number one wide receivers in a row, but it is 3 of their top targets in a row, but still. Rivals industry number one wide receiver is Monsoon Sales, 6'5", 200-pound wide receiver out of Indiana. He's the number 8 overall player. Buckeyes in a good spot there. Indiana pressing really hard. Alabama pressing really hard. We'll see how it shakes out. I am curious if it's going to get crowded at the top. You know what I mean? You can only pay for, but you look at this past class, Chris Henry and Jaquaden Guilford, 2 5-stars. Buckeyes got them reeled in. So we can see the Buckeyes doing it. They have not slowed down in recruiting other wide receivers. And another one of the rankings has Eastern Royale, a Texas wide receiver, 5'11", 185 pounds, as the number one wide receiver as well. That was the first offer that Carlos Hankton put out when he became this wide receivers coach. So really pressing there, going after some high-end wide receivers. Eric McFarland as well, considered the number 4 wide receiver in the class, reclassified to the 2027 class. He's not the same as Jameer Brown. A lot of people, for some reason, think because we have Jameer Brown, it's going to be hard to get Eric McFarland. No, man. Jameer Brown you listen to that interview, he compared himself to Carnell Tate. I would agree. That's the type of wide receiver that he is. He's not a small dude. He's 6 foot, almost 200 pounds. Eric McFarland, 5'8", 176 pounds. I met him, watched him play for SFE. He was a top 3 player on the field, even being a younger guy. He's a phenomenal football player. Then it's been about a year ago, maybe less than, the Buckeyes were 100% leading the charge there with Brian Hartline in the driver's seat. It's hard to tell where the Buckeyes sit now, but we will see. Another wide receiver, Dakota Grant. He's considered the number 8 wide receiver out of the state of Michigan. The Buckeyes are in there as well. So Buckeye wide receiver recruiting may have changed recruiters, but the Buckeyes have not slowed down on that front, which is probably surprising to a lot of people. I mean, Hartline leaving on signing day this year. You thought our wide receiver class would have fell apart. I mean, we literally ended up signing, depending on which ranking you look at, 2 top 5 wide receivers, 2 5-star wide receivers. So it's kind of wild, even without Hartline. And it's looking like even without Hartline, these Buckeyes are going to be able to keep Jameer Brown in this class and add another elite wide receiver here. It just goes to speak the Ohio State brand, man, and what they've been able to do, the most consistent program, and Ryan Day at the helm, the elite quarterbacks that he brings in, the kind of offense that he runs is really attractive to some of these top wide receivers. So I fully expect this class to end with Jameer Brown. We'll see if he ends as the number one wide receiver. I think he's going to. I think the dude is fast, like fast. And he's getting way better with his ball skills. So I think he ends as the number one wide receiver. If not, we're really in there with Monsoon Sales, Dakota Grant, Eric McFarland, Easton Royale, and those are all top wide receivers in this class. So it's kind of hard to tell which one they end up. I feel like they close their eyes and draw from a hat on who gets the number one position anymore, or who pays the most to get the number one position. Who knows how it works anymore? But either way, we'll see what the Buckeyes are able to do there. The defensive end recruiting is another interesting one to talk about. I fully expect. So the Buckeyes, they've definitely changed up their strategy in recruiting overall, but more specifically on the defensive line. They are going after all of the top defensive ends, all of the top defensive tackles. You look at the defensive end position, DJ Jacobs, the number one defensive end in the class out of Georgia, committed to the Buckeyes early. And the Buckeyes have a little trick up their sleeve to make sure he stays committed. I'll leave it at that. It sounds like he's going to locked in with the Buckeyes, all that. But either way, a long way to go. But they're still not slowing down, man. Most recently, Will Fong put out a thing, talked to Chris Whitehead, the number 3 edge in the class. It's a battle between Miami and Georgia, but the Buckeyes are leaders right now. For the number 3 defensive end in this class, Rashid Streets, teammate to Quentin Cypher out of North Carolina. He's the number 8 edge. Buckeyes are in his top 6 as well. Mekhi Brown, another one's been on the show, big 6'7" defensive end, top 5 defensive end in the class, they're all visiting Ohio State, and the Buckeyes are, staying on top of all these top end guys. Those are the most recent ones. Some other big time players to bring up that Buckeyes have been making recent moves on. It's Maxwell Hiller out of Pennsylvania. He's rated as the number 1 interior offensive lineman, but I think the dude's 6'5", 300 over 300 pounds already. I don't know if he's a tackle or an interior guy. I want to lean towards tackle, but he's rated as an interior offensive lineman. Just visited the Buckeyes, and I was told the Buckeyes shot up the board during that visit. So they've implemented a different strategy in these top end guys to get them to commit. They are looking for early commitments from some of these guys. They watched how USC did their class this year, and I think they might be taking a few things out of their cupboard and using that in their class. It worked out pretty good for USC, honestly. They kept a lot of guys in their class because USC pays guys to stay committed to their class. And I'm not going to confirm or deny whether Ohio State is doing that, but you got to do what you got to do these days. We'll dive into that on another show. But Buckeyes are in Max's top 4 right now. It's going to come down to pretty much Alabama, Florida, and Ohio State battle right now. Penn State lurking in the back. So we will see. Another one, most recently, David Gabriel Georges, the number 1 running back in this class. Buckeyes are the leader there. We all know Carlos Lachlan is dialed in on him, wants him in this class. They even slowed down a little bit on the 2026 running back class because how much they want this dude. So he's already scheduled an official visit, been on campus a couple times already. Carlos Lachlan went to Canada to visit him, which is where he's from. So it just shows you the amount that the Buckeyes want him. Another running back to keep an eye on is Sarod Baker out of Texas. Dude had 3,081 rushing yards his junior year with 41 touchdowns. Buckeyes gave him an offer about 3 months ago towards the end of the season in the playoffs, and kind of keeping him in the fold as well. So There's some little updates there. Jameer Brown still committed in this class. He's the number 12 overall prospect, the number 3 wide receiver according to Rivals rankings. We'll see if the Buckeyes are able to keep this wide receiver recruiting heater still going even without Brian Hartline. I think they're going to be able to do that. They have changed how they look at high school recruiting. And we just got a breakdown from the recruiting leader at Ohio State on kind of how they do that. So not playing games and still rocking and rolling in the portal. I was honestly a little bit surprised, but not that much, because if you remember last year, there's always like straggler commitments at the end of the class, and it's always interesting to see. I do remember that I believe that offensive lineman we got from West Virginia, Justice Terry, who actually worked out pretty well for us, was in the 2 deep. I think we got him kind of late, a couple other guys as well. But Buckeyes picked up Notre Dame kicker today, Marcelo. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Diomede. He actually played in 10 games for Notre Dame, did their kickoffs, had 11 total touchbacks. I'm not sure. You bring in another kicker here. This is 3 kickers on the roster now. In the 26 class, we got Cooper Peterson. We also got Connor Hawkins in the fold. So it creates a more of a competitive nature in that kicking room. And it's kind of wild. And I love seeing the emphasis that Ryan Day has put on special teams. You saw it a little bit last year, bringing in Nate Ebner and making some changes there as far as how he let the coaches handle special teams. Still didn't work out very well for us. But what Ryan Day has done in this offseason shows you that he has even upped it even more. Went in and got this kicker, went in the portal, got Connor Hawkins, went in there and got, Day says, the best long snapper in the country from USF, Dalton Riggs. Got another long snapper in Landon Beal. Got a punter, Brady Young, and the kicker in the 26 class. And then also went out and hired Robbie Disher as a special teams coordinator from Illinois. So Ryan Day putting a lot of emphasis on special teams this offseason. And if you guys know me at all, you know that I get pretty wild when it comes to special teams, in particular kicking. And I kind of want to stop there so I don't go too crazy, but we know what we have been through as Buckeye fans on the kicking front these past 2 years. It's absolutely drove me insane. For those of you that watched the Nevada B. Moses show, you saw me in the chat. Unfortunately, I meant every word of what I was typing in the chat in regards to the kicking. It's unfortunate. Wish I didn't feel that way, but I do. I feel very strongly about the importance of special teams. That includes punting, kicking, kickoff returns, all those things. Captain puts, no, Dev. A Georgia game cost me a divorce. I mean, dude, it's intense. It's intense. It just is what it is. We got to do better on that front. But the good news is, and that's the only thing that matters, is what Ryan Day is doing about it right now. Went in, like we said, got Connor Hawkins, one of the best kickers in the country, made 50-yard plus field goals, made a game winner as well for Baylor. So seems to be able to handle the pressure situation. People talked about, because we had another portal kicker last year. They talked about in practice, Jaden Fielding kept winning those practice battles for the field goal kicking. And as a coach, it's like, what else are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? And that makes total sense to me. But I was to the point where it's like, hey, at this point in time, clearly it doesn't matter if he keeps winning the practice kicking battle because it's not working in the game. I would have literally put Brandon Ennis out there to give it a shot. Steely pointed out in the last show, he's a pretty good athlete, played quarterback as well, and all those things. So I literally would have done that. But that's why they don't hire me as the coach, because I don't think people would have thought very highly of that. But we're talking about a 27-yard field goal, guys. A 27-yard field goal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not some Division I athlete or anything, but I'm gonna have to go try that one day. I'm gonna have to go out there and try and see and kick a 27-yard field goal. I got to figure it out. I got to figure it out and see how hard it really is. But guys, I told you it was a shorter show. That's it, man. That's all I got for you. Tomorrow we do have Kellen Weimer coming on. I'm trying to confirm that now. It's been on the schedule. Let me take a look, see if he said anything. Of course, man. When you need your phone, working great all day, and then I'm on a live stream, go to pull it up. Yeah, so Kellen said, yep, he should be good to go tomorrow. He's a 2027 offensive lineman out of the state of Ohio, committed to the Buckeyes. Going to be great to get to know him a little bit. But Friday, I'm pumped, man. What are we doing? Oh, yeah. Also, tomorrow, guys, Mello's joining us after the – let me make sure on that. Let me make sure. When did he say? It was either Thursday or Friday he's going to join us. Yeah, tomorrow. So after or during the Kellen Weimer interview, Mello will be joining us. So it'll be good to get him back on the show. The Nate Roberts interview, it's not happening as of right now. Thought it was going to, and ended up falling through. So still working on that. We'll see if we can get that to change. But he's not big on interviews, so we'll see if we can't get him on here one day. Got to meet his mom at the Miami game. Wonderful family. Ryan Day said Nate Roberts, one of the most talented tight ends that we've had come through here in a long time. So we'll see. I would love to get him on. But Friday, Zion Grady's coming on. Listen, I know it's Friday. Friday tends to be like the lower views, and I get it. It's Friday night. People are out doing their things. Sometimes I don't do Friday shows because of that. I got my own stuff going on. But if you guys could, please show up for Zion, man. I mean, I think the dude, he's going to be in a battle with Epi for the starting position this year, I believe. So he could potentially be one of the starters. I think he's a future superstar, him and Epi, both of them. So if I could have as many people show up, get in the chat, I think he would absolutely love that. It's really cool to see these guys that are on the roster take the time out and come on the Little Old Buckeye Boys show, man, and allow us a little bit of an inside look into who he is as a person and a football player. I love him. I love the interviews. It's why I do these. It's why I started this channel. It's why I do this show. I love seeing young men make the right choices, take advantage of the opportunities that they have. Love hearing their stories, love getting to know them. So it should be a great show. I'll continue to try to, keep getting some of these guys on. There is a slight chance there is a surprise guest voice joining Zion on the show as well. So it would be another defensive end. I'm not going to say his name. It's not confirmed or anything, but the message is out there. The question's out there. We'll see if it's received, and we'll see if he comes on. So you do not want to miss that show. Chance for a surprise guest. Dude, man, you're the best for the cause. God bless. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Just a reminder, when I'm on StreamYard, I can't tell who's in what chat. If you're in the Buckeye Scoop chat and you super chat, that goes. I don't handle how Buckeye Scoop handles their super chats, but they all go to help out the veterans and the pay it forward on the site, which is amazing. The only way to get your super chats to go towards Teen Challenge, the faith-based organization, is to super chat on the Buckeye Boys channel. Just wanted to remind people of that. But if you got any questions you want me to holler at, I got a little bit of time. I got Sue's I got this pulled up here. Hey, Dev, do you think the new special teams coach would think about putting in Legend for a fake punter? I don't know about the fake punting thing, but this special teams coach, he's mainly known for blocking kicks. Okay, so every stop he's been at, his team has either led the nation in block kicks or been in like top 10 for block kicks. We saw what that did for Indiana this year. In the Miami game, they had a block punt, so blocking them. But this is what this dude does, right? Robbie is, I've been told, is like psychotic about special teams. I mean, he treats special teams just like an offensive coordinator treats the offense. You know, Arthur Smith is, little note here, already dove into all the film, already dove into all the offensive linemen's film, had conversations about that as much as you can with the rules. Very organized in how he approaches, right? What he wants to teach these guys and things he put forward. I've been told Robbie's the same way. So, Solners, I wouldn't be surprised if you do see some new things out there and the Buckeyes try some different things on special teams. We have the athletes to do it. I would personally love to see that. But as far as Legend, I really hope we see Legend in the Wildcat this year. That's like my one little, one little thing that I want to see Arthur do is, dude, maybe put Julian and Legend in the backfield and just, fake the team out and snap it directly to Legend Bay, or put Tavian in there with Legend Bay, snap it to Legend, and have Tavian be the lead blocker. Yeah, that's what I want. So if I was the coach, I'd have Brandon Ennis kicking field goals, and I would have Legend Bay in the Wildcat. So, yeah, I like this too. Or halfback option pass. Yep. I saw somebody in the chat earlier put something about Arthur Smith and tight end recruiting. Yeah, so the first person that Arthur Smith reached out to is, I forget his name, man, a 6'7" tight end from Virginia. Personally reached out to him, got an official visit set up. So I do expect Arthur to obviously have an impact in our tight end recruiting. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to keep, dude, it's hard, guys. Let me ask you a question. I want you to be honest with me. Do you guys want recruiting updates right now? Because it's so early. There are a lot of updates. Like I thought about doing a show where I go down and talk about what I think is the Buckeyes' top 3 players for each position group. Like, hey, these are what I believe to be the Buckeyes' top 3 targets at each position group. That is something I thought about doing, but there's just so much movement, man. A couple months before they commit that it's hard, and we got a long way to go. We got to vote for Roll Tide says yes, recruiting updates. Okay. There's one yes. I just don't want to get into too many details with it because, as we know, so many things change. So it's kind of Captain, I like this. Yeah, that's kind of what I do plan on doing. Just go with some of the nuggets that I get right from some of the sources that I've gathered through the time. Yes, yeah, I got you guys. I'll keep some recruiting updates coming. I do have some juicy stuff on the defensive line. I'll get a show out about that here soon. But again, tomorrow, Mello, Kellen Weimer will be joining the show. And Friday, Zion Grady, and potentially a surprise guest. Appreciate y'all for joining tonight. Hope y'all had a great day, man. A great Wednesday. And continue trucking along, man. Oh, how are the Buckeyes doing in basketball? Last time I watched, they were up 6 against USC. So I'm going to get that game turned back on. Appreciate you guys for joining the show tonight. Appreciate the super chats. Appreciate the support. Hit that like button on your way out. Hit the subscribe button as well. And something a little bit different, if you're active in the chat right now, once the show's not live, if you could remember, come back, put a little comment under the video. It's kind of like a like. YouTube uses an algorithm to push certain shows out. the more likes and the more comments that are on that show, the more that, they'll move the video up to the top when people search for videos. So if y'all feel like helping out the Buckeye Boys show a little bit, that would be great. If not, totally understand. Spreaker app, like button for Scoop, Apple Podcast as well. And the Buckeye Scoop message board is off and running. Go join it if you can. Appreciate y'all for joining tonight. Appreciate you being in the chat. God bless y'all. Love you guys. Go Buckeyes. OH.